Welcome students. In the previous class we actually completes the whole chapter, okay, and also whole syllabus of your annual exam. Okay, today we are going to revise the chapter that is actually a matter. Okay, and here we just discuss about the whole chapter. So first question is actually what is matter. Okay, so in generally what is matter, actually we can say that the matter is anything that has mass and volume. Okay, and for most common objects that we deal with every day, it is fairly simple to demonstrate that have mass and take up plane space. Okay, that means actually matter is defined as anything which occupies space and has mass. Okay, suppose if we take two example, one is water and another is light. Okay, for these two example you can say that water that has mass also and that takes volume. Okay, but if you actually think about light, then light actually have light is no mass. Okay, and also light actually not occupy any space. So we can say water is a matter, but light is not a matter. Okay, similarly we can say about heat also. Heat is not a matter, and also we can say shadow. Okay, shadow is not a matter, but water, air, okay, and also you can say TV, cloud, etc. These are the examples of matter. Now we move our next point, that is matter and its characteristics. So first one is actually matter is everything which is around ourselves or around all of us. Okay, and basically matter is made of particles. It occupies space, and the space inside the container that is occupied by matter is its volume. So this is the definition. What is actually volume? The space inside the container that is occupied by matter is its volume. Okay, and the next one is actually the second characteristics, that is matter has mass. Okay, mass is a physical quantity which expresses the amount of stuff in an object, and you can also say mass is a scalar quantity. Okay, scalar means actually it has only magnitude, it has no direction. That means mass is not depend on any direction, it is always a scalar quantity. That means it has only numerical value. Okay, so this is the second characteristics of any matter. Okay, now we move our next point, that is actually composition. Okay, so the point is composition of matter. Here you can see that matter is basically made up atom and molecules. Okay, now the question is what is atom and what is molecules. Okay, simply we can say that matter is made up of very tiny particles, that is called atom, but atom does not have any independent existence, whereas molecules, actually molecules are atoms combined to form molecules, and molecules is the smallest particle of matter which can exist independently. So it does not exist independently, does not exist independently. whereas actually you can say that the molecules it actually exist independently. So this is the difference between independently. So this is actually the difference between atom and molecules. Okay, you can this is you can say that these are the difference. Okay, so now, and we can say that depending upon its physical state the nature of matter falls into three category. Okay, one is solid, okay, second one liquid and gases. Okay, and also you can say that depending on its temperature also a substance or a matter can exist in three forms. Okay, first one is solid, second one is liquid, and the third one is actually gas. And these are the three states of matter. So first one, solids. For solid case you can say that particles in a solid are tightly packed, okay, usually in a regular pattern, and particles in a solid will vibrate, okay, but cannot move past each other. And you all can also say that solids retain their shape, so it has actually a constant shape and size. But for a liquid case, particles in a liquid are close together with no regular pattern, irregular pattern, and particles in a liquid flow and can easily move or slide past one another, and liquids assume the shape of their containers. And for gases, actually particles in a gas are well separated with no regular pattern. Second one is particles in a gas vibrate freely at high speed, and also gases assume the shapes of their containers. Now, in generally, a state of matter depends on the intermolecular force and the intermolecular space between its molecules. Now, the question is what is intermolecular force and what is intermolecular space between its molecule? In generally, so in this is the two factors on which a state of matter depend. So we discuss about intermolecular at first intermolecular force. Okay, so an intermolecular force is the force that mediates interaction between molecules, including the electromagnetic forces of attraction, repulsion, which can act atoms, okay, and other types of neighboring particles, example atoms or ions. Or you can say that the molecules of a substance are held together by a force of attraction between them. This force is called intermolecular forces. And what is intermolecular space? Here you can say that intermolecular space can be defined as the space between two molecules or atoms. Okay. In generally, intermolecular spaces categorized matter into solid, liquid, gas. Okay, and these forces are weaker than solids, okay, but stronger than gases. For actually, you can say this is the basic property of a state of matter. And also you can say liquids can easily acquire the shape of the vessel in which it is kept, and they have a fixed volume. Okay, and you can also say that depending upon the strength of intermolecular force the spaces between the molecules vary for different state of matter. This space is known as intermolecular space. Now the question is what are the properties of solids, liquids, and also gases? So here we just at first discuss about solid. Okay, in generally the properties of solids are solids have a First one is solids have a definite shape. Second one, solids have a definite volume. Third one, solids have a texture. And fourth one is solids have many free surfaces. And also the fifth one is solids are incompressible. And here you can say that solid first one, solids have fixed shape and volume. Size of solids do not change. It occupies fixed shape. Particles of solid are closely bound or tightly bound. The third one, solids do not take shape of container like liquid, and solids do not flow like liquid also, and particles of solid cannot be compressed easily. That means incompressible. Okay, so these are the properties of solid. And what are the properties of liquid? So here you can see, no, liquids have no definite shape. Okay, it takes the shape of its container, and liquid has definite volume. Particles are free to move each other for liquid but are still attracted to each other. So in generally you can say that liquids do not have any definite shape. Okay, but liquids have a definite volume, and liquids have to tendency to flow. Okay, that means fluidity, and that is why actually liquid is a fluid also. And liquids cannot be compressed much, and you can say actually liquids have only one free surface. Okay, and you move to next point, that is gas. Okay, here you can say that they are easy to compress, they expand to fill their containers, and the third one, they occupy far more space than liquid or solids from which they form. Or and also you can say that gases have neither a definite shape nor a definite volume also. And second one is gases have maximum fluidity or capacity to flow, and the third one is gases are highly compressible, and the fourth one, gases have no free surfaces. So for solid, actually solids have many surfaces, free surfaces. For liquid it has only one surface, but for gases have no free surfaces. Now we move our next part, that is actually distinguishing properties of solid, liquids and gases also. So here at first you can see the first properties or first point, that is volume. Okay, so for volume part you can say that here for solid you can say definite volume. Okay, as intermolecular force between constituent particles are very strong. Okay, this is very important. Okay, due to intermolecular force are very strong, solids have definite shape. Okay, liquid have definite volume as intermolecular forces between constituent particles are strong, not very strong. Okay, here actually very strong for solid, but for liquid simple strong. So that is why actually definite volume. But gas have no definite volume because its actually intermolecular forces are weak. Okay, now next point, that is diffusion. So due to actually intermolecular forces, liquids solids can diffuse into liquids. Okay, and for liquid actually diffusion is higher than solid, and for gas actually highly diffusible. That means actually for gas all particles move randomly at high speed. Okay, so diffusion rate is very high for gas because particles of gas are randomly move at high speed. Now the next one is compressibility, and for this case actually for solid it is negligible compressibility, and also liquid negligible, but for gases has highly compressible gases are. Now fluidity, okay, same thing, same type of thing. For solid it's very low. Okay, very actually solids are very rigid. That means actually solids cannot flow. Okay, and for liquid less rigid and it can easily flow, but for actually gas it has no rigidity, can flow most easily. Now density for solid is high, for liquid it is moderate, and for gas it is low. For shape, solid have definite shape, liquid do not have any definite shape, and also gases do not have any definite shape. Kinetic energy of particles at a given temperature, actually for solid it's least, and for liquid higher than solid, and for gas it's maximum, because actually for gas molecules actually particles are moving with randomly with a high speed. Okay. Whereas for solid actually particles are rigid. Okay, that is why actually kinetic energy for at a given temperature for solid it is least, and for solid it is for gas it is highest or maximum. And the next one is interparticle space. In this is actually intermolecular space, you can say that. And this is actually for solid least, and for liquid we can say lesser, and for gas more than others. And intermolecular force of attraction, it is also for solids very strong, for liquid less strong, and for gas it is weak. Intermolecular force for solid is very strong, we can say, and for liquid actually stronger than gas but weaker than solid, and for actually gas intermolecular forces are very weak. And arrangement of actually molecules, here you can say that for solids, actually solids are packed in definite pattern, so they possess a definite geometry shape. But for liquid it is packed weak comparison to solid, so that is why actually shape are not fixed for liquid. And for gas actually packed very poorly, that is why actually our gas fill the container and it has no definite shape. So these are the arrangement of molecule. And also this is the end of actually the total whole chapter. So you just remember the key points. Actually key points mean, here we can say that first actually what is matter, you have to know what is matter. Now the one point is actually you can say characteristics. Okay, characteristics of matter. And the next one is actually composition of matter. And the third one is actually state of matter. And also you have to know about intermolecular force, what is intermolecular force. And the second thing is actually intermolecular space also. Okay, now you can say that the point, that is different properties. Okay, different properties of solid, okay, liquid and gas also. And the last one is actually comparison between three states of matter, that means solid, liquid and gas, with the basis actually with the help of different properties, or with the basis of different properties. Okay, so actually this is the gist for whole chapter. Okay, so this is the end of today's class.